So I want to thank everybody for taking some time out of their day, middle of the day, for our Salt Talks Lunch and Learn. We hold these every month. It's just a way of kind of touching base midday for those on topics that I think they're very important topics, but maybe they don't take up a full 90 minute of our regular session. So today I brought in Scott Osterfeld. He's with Graceworks, but I know Scott from 2010 maybe, or 12, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Known him a long time. He's done so much for individuals with disabilities. You've been all over Ohio, I think. But I wanted to bring him in as talk to parents and staff, just, a little bit of encouragement. We have had some really heavy topics the last couple months, and I wanted to step back and just have Scott speak to all of you as well, and just the journey with your individuals with disabilities. So I'm going to turn it over to Scott. I'll let him introduce himself, and then go ahead and get started.
Great. Thank you, Patty. Well, good afternoon, everybody. As Patty said, my name is Scott. I've been working in the disability field for about 35 years. I feel like getting old. I'm sure a lot of people are very young on this call, but worked a variety of places, ran some residential programs, created some things. Some people may have heard of something called a FANS network, Friends, Allies, and Neighbors. Is in about 25 or 30 counties, just a grassroots kind of ministry to help folks with disabilities and their families meet practical things, as well as have a social experience of life. Now I work at Graceworks. I'm a program director. What I love doing most of all is talking to parents and folks about what really makes a difference in people's lives. And I used to tell people, I traveled all over the country and did some things, and I used to think I was an expert, Patty. I used to think I knew some stuff, but now at the age of 55, I tell people I'm a recovering expert. And I really don't know too much, but I've learned more in the last few years just listening to people and talking to parents and what's really important in folks' life. Everywhere I go, I ask professionals, teachers, people that work in group homes, job coaches, what is your role in somebody's life of a person with disability? And I get varied things from people, but I interviewed a gentleman about 5 years ago who I eventually hired to run one of our homes. And he says that his role was to help people with disabilities maximize their experiences in life, to help people have a full life. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, to help people have fun, try new experiences, do new things, and to bless other people. So I've been on a kind of a journey or crusade trying to figure out really how do you get to know somebody in a family and partner with them and help them create a life of community. And I think it's even funny that we use these funny words like community. I don't talk about when I go out with friends, I'm going out into the community or I have an outing. But it's so odd how we talk. So I want to start the video, this talk with a little video from one of our group homes where they decided to have what they called a neighborhood party, a block party. And it kind of explains some of the concepts I want to teach. And we partnered with the Butler County Board of DD. I know there's a few people on there, and they helped us and partnered with us and paid for the snacks and the treats and stuff. But this will give you an idea. It's about 4 minutes long, I think, Patty, if I can operate this thing here. So let me see if I can get it rolling. Hopefully everybody
just have to share. You have to share your screen. We're not seeing it yet.
Hold on.
The Glen Hall home is great.
All right, let me get back to this. Got to share my screen.
Mm-hmm. And then don't forget to check those 2 boxes if you didn't.
Okay. I think they're checked. Let me know if you can hear this.
It's like a family environment.
Yep.
It's like everybody's second family. There's 5 gentlemen that live here.
Jeff, Bell, Levi, and Martin Noble, and me.
They have developmental disabilities, And they're just like any other typical family. They enjoy hanging out together, spending time together. They just love each other. It feels like a family here.
It's critical that our folks who are often isolated historically to become involved and part of the community like everybody else. Everybody has gifts and strengths and interests, so our staff go the extra mile to help them meet their neighbor.
So I brought the idea back to the residents and asked them how they felt about hosting a party for the neighbors, and they were all excited about it. They love parties and to get together, so everybody was on board with having a party here at Glen Hollow.
Decided to work invitation down and took the meeting, so I put it in the people's mailbox.
Wanted to get them familiar with the guys, interact with them, let them know who we are and who they are, and so they can also know who's in the neighborhood as well.
The neighborhood is great. We have a lot of friendly people. We have some good parties, share some good times.
Yeah, I would describe it as a friendly neighborhood, hardworking people that take pride in where they live.
We kind of have a concept that we call systematic serendipity, where we're systematic in bringing people with disabilities and those without together, and we wait for the serendipitous to happen. The nice person that says hello or how you doing. Then our staff jump on that and help develop relationships.
So at the block party, the neighbors came over. We introduced them to all the guys. They got to socialize, hang out, talk. There was lots of food they got to eat. One of the residents brought up his CD player, so there was music that we entertained with, and everybody just socialized and actually stayed longer into the night than what was originally planned.
It was great. They had a really nice smorgasbord for everybody. I was wow. The people were very nice. The caregivers were very nice. The house was very nice. Everything was great.
And the coolest thing of the whole night was that one of the neighbors was having a party the very next day and invited the 5 gentlemen and the staff who live here to go to their party. So what we were trying to achieve happened serendipitously because there was a party the next day. It made me feel like we were doing the right thing, that you can't always script how things are going to go, but if you're vigilant and watching things, we can have an impact of the trajectory of people's lives.
Help them out a lot. That lets the neighbors in the community know who they are. They live here, and they're not only residents here, but they are also part of the neighborhood.
You know, that life's done best in community, so it's just an encouragement for everyone to get out and know their neighbors a little bit better, because you always find a treasure in that.
All right, could everybody hear that pretty well? You know, I just wanted to share that a couple concepts in that. I got a PowerPoint that I want to show too, Patty, if I can get that working. Can folks see that?
No, you have to reshare.
Good.
Because you had hit stop share. So now do another share screen and then choose your PowerPoint. There you go. Yeah.
All right.
And then, yeah, there you go.
So
yep.
So again, so what we're trying to do is maximize experiences of folks. In that little block party, we try to make it fun and enjoyable. And some of the folks that the individual said that we never really even knew our neighbors. And then if you realize that the last part of that video is that it just happened to have one of the neighbors having a party the next day, invited everybody to come. And there's one parent there that lived in the neighborhood who had an adult daughter with a disability, and we didn't even know that she was 2 streets over. And so when we work with our staff and our partners, our motto is to actively engage in a journey to help folks have a good and meaningful life. And I know some of you are parents and also professionals. And I ask everywhere I go to our staff during the interviews, when we hire people and we work with folks, what really makes life good and meaningful? And I typically get the answer, a couple thoughts that people say when I ask them that. And they say to have fun and to meet new people, have friends. And a crazy part was that people are saying that we want to serve and bless other people. So something that we try to do is we try to create something that we call blessing projects, where we try to figure out how we can help folks with disabilities go and serve the community, and meet other people. There's a picture here. If you can see this picture, there's a picture of some folks that are going to the police station. The police have a little outreach that they give stuffed animals to kids during domestic violence calls that they have. And so these folks that we served decided they wanted to collect stuffed animals. So they started an outreach, and they meet a whole bunch of people in life getting the stuffed animals and then delivering them. This other picture over here is a group of folks, because they said, what makes their life meaningful? They said ice cream. And so what they did is they figured out the 25 different ice cream places in Cincinnati, and they went to each one and told all the folks that worked there what they were doing. They were rating the ice cream place, and then each of those folks worked there, invited them back to do more things and grow. So I said, let's do more of those things. What can we do? And so here's some concepts we try to do is find and explore and create opportunities to have fun, try new things, and bless others. So everything we do, we ask ourselves those questions. We help people to be independent and do all those things. But if we're not helping people have a life of where they get to meet other people and interact, we're failing. And so we talk a lot about maximizing the experiences. If someone's going to a ball game, it's not just going to the ball game. It's inviting others. It's making bets on the game. It's buying a T-shirt. It's everybody in the house getting a T-shirt. It's about experiencing things to the full. And then I want to hit on for a second here, systematic serendipity. That concept to me is so important. I believe that most of the things in life, who we meet, what we do, what we experience is serendipitous, meaning it happens by chance, but we don't create experiences for people to have that chance. So we have to be systematic as well with that. And so we have to plan lots of things, lots of block parties, Monday night football parties, having a garage sale, you invite the neighborhood. Then we watch for these serendipitous things to happen, so people can meet folks. And we train our staff, and as parents, we can look for those people and things that are might be a connection for folks with disabilities. We have a saying, it says, all's well that, most of you may have heard people say, all's well that ends well. But we want to change that. It's not all's well that ends well. It's all's well that begins well. And it begins, what we do with folks is have a vision of what their life could be like. And this is a painter, Bob Ross, and he taught us about how to envision what we want to create and draw, if you remember him on PBS. And so we do that with our folks. How do we envision someone having a full life? There's one gentleman, I'll call him Bill, who said that he did not want to go to a day program anymore. He's an older gentleman. He said, I just don't want to go. I want to create a fun life for myself. And I said, what do you want to do? And he says, I need to lose weight. This is a gentleman that when he came, he weighed over 300 pounds and could not get off the toilet. And so we got him involved with some health, support groups and weight loss support groups and running clubs. He's lost 100 pounds. He's joined a gym. He goes to the gym, and the guys hang out afterwards, and the staff had to be trained to help him get to know and meet other people. He goes to the YMCA and goes swimming with a bunch of other folks around his same age. And they, at the end of once a month of their swimming club, it's like Splashing Seniors or something, they go out to lunch, and the staff person helped the individual go to lunch, so they experience that life together. So I ask a lot about, and I want to stop in a minute so we can kind of have a talk and a conversation, but what is community? I used to think it's kind of a place or an activity, but it's not really. It's It's like the old show Cheers, if you remember that show, the theme song, you want to go where everybody knows your name. So we often go to mom and pop restaurants where people meet over and over again. And we plan that. It's not like just going to the history museum or the conservatory where people don't go that really live in that town. It's going to places where everyone else is living out their life. And so we're trying to achieve a connection to everyday lives, everyday relationships, everyday experiences. And that's how we judge ourselves about the quality of somebody's life, if they're full and they enjoy those things. A couple things I just want to share with you as we go. This is a diagram from a lady who has a disability. She's a paraplegic. Her name is Judith Snow, and she wrote a book, How to Love Someone Labeled Disabled, Possibly Yourself. And she says that all of us have 4 circles in our life. The innermost circle, if you can see there, is the one of intimacy. Those are the folks you have in your life that are closest to you. It's your children, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your wife, husband. We all have that. Then there's a circle of friendship, people that are in your life that you see, that you could call up and go out to eat with and do certain things. Then the next circle is a circle of participation. And this is the circle of folks that you see in your daily life, but you're not really friends with. For me, it's the people I see at the gym or at the bookstore, or at the library. When I do trail runs on the weekend, these folks that I see. Then the outermost circle is a circle of exchange. And those are people that are paid to be with you in your life. Your support providers, your hairdresser, your doctor, those sorts of things. And Judith Snow says most people in the disability community try to help people have deep, intimate friendships and relationships. And she says that's the wrong way of doing it. What you have to really focus on is that third circle, the circle of participation, where you're going out, experiencing life, meeting other people. Then you have to have folks around you that help you, are vigilant in developing those relationships. If you never go to the gym, you're never going to meet other people. If you don't ever go out to churches or places that you enjoy, you're never going to have the opportunity to meet other people. So we have to help people get out, do things, and experience things. And then when you're there, this slide represents 3 different kind of things. I call them being present, having presence, and actively participating. So Bill, the guy that goes to the gym, was present at the gym. He would show up. And so the first step is getting people out there doing things. The next step is having presence. And what does that mean? If you have presence somewhere, if Bill doesn't go to the gym for 2 weeks, people are calling the group home asking, where is he? They're asking him when he's not there at the church that he goes to, where you been for a couple weeks? We've missed you. And so we're helping people develop that sense of being there, consistently doing things, meeting people, watching for the serendipitous to happen. And then the third stage is actively participating. What does it mean to actively participate at the gym? It means that you say hello to people, that at the gym, they celebrate people's birthdays. It's a private gym called Starting Strength. And so Bill's not going to remember people's birthdays, but the staff who goes with him, when they talk about they're having a birthday party next week, they go and help Bill buy a birthday card. Or if they bring snacks to the swimming lunch, the staff helps them bring snacks. So it's about contributing and being part of that. I'm going to stop now. Is there any thoughts or questions anybody has at this point in time? I feel like I'm rambling.
I don't see anything written or typed into the chat box, but does anybody feel free to unmute if you want to ask, or you can type it in the chat box. It's fine too.
This is Tish Williams. I just have a comment, and I have a son that's 21 years old. He has Down syndrome, and he's a super senior at Belmont High School. But I love this, Scott. And a couple comments. I have stressed with the school teachers, right, from the get-go, from like, well, I don't know, maybe 7th grade because Jerry was homeschooled a lot. And when he got into the school system, that my most important goal for him was to develop friendships, to develop healthy relationships, because it has to start, or it's better if it starts younger.
Absolutely.
And I would say that we have failed a lot in that regard. And I don't put it all on the teachers, but I just was sharing that that's my goal, and any help they could provide to nurture friendships and extracurriculars and things like that. So I just wanted to say, I really appreciate hearing this.
Thank you.
And then I also am always pushing him to do all kinds of stuff to try to meet all kinds of people. And it is a big challenge.
Absolutely. I don't know if you know about the Best Buddies program. You've probably heard about that. Connie Melman, that is a great program where they pair up, adults with other adults without disabilities. That same thing is done in high schools, where you're paired up with another person and they help you meet other people. Or you talk to an honors English class and you say, part of our role was to help our friends be part of what we do after school, whatever we do, right? We do a disservice, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I'll see on TV where you have the high school student with Down syndrome and they let him go and shoot the winning basketball shot, and everyone celebrates, it's on the news, and everybody feels good for a minute. But but that is not changing someone's life. That's a nice moment. But we need to go back to the schools and the teachers and the student council to say, that's nice, but that does not excuse you from leaving people out. You have to actively go and do it, reach out to folks, befriend people with disabilities, have movements where, no child's going to sit by themselves at lunch, that we're going to have the person participate in the track team and going out to Skyline Chili afterwards. In a way, you have to educate the teachers and the students and the, what I call the good kids, the honor societies, the classes and that type of stuff. But you're right on. It's such a challenge to do. And there's no magic fix. So the next couple of slides, I'll just go over them real quickly, is some excuses to bring people together that we found. One, we developed something called fast breaks. And these are typically adults that I'd work with local businesses and companies and say, we give free treats to your staff meetings. If you have a staff meeting, we'll come and we'll bring you cookies and donuts. And we've done that, in the past, lots of places. And we'll go to Western Southern Life, and they're having their staff meeting every other Friday at 10 o'clock. And I invite ourselves there. As we show up, I bring 2 or 3 people, friends of mine with disabilities. We give out their cupcakes. And sometimes they say, thank you, have a great day. But often they say, hey, sit down here and chat with us for a minute. And we stay for 10, 15 minutes and we talk about folks and I introduce people and different things. Then probably 50% of the time they say, we'd like to invite you back. And we're going to provide lunch and want you to have pizza with us. So we come back, and sometimes nothing happens, but other times, people become friendly and we do certain things and they invite us back. We do this. Then I invite them on some of the activities, the people that work at Western Southern Life, and then they come, then we got bigger. We started doing what we call parties with a purpose, which is like a block party. And I'll invite, myself to a local college and we'll have a pizza party with the students there. You can do it in the high school. And I just bring in people with and without people with disabilities together, then watch for things to happen and try to continue on some type of almost excuse to pursue or press into more of a friendship or relationship. We started stuff. We have instant picnics. We used to do this. If you're from Butler County, some of you may have remembered that we would go and talk to a local business or something, and we would provide picnics in the parking lot, and we'd grill out, and we'd have volunteers of people with disabilities, volunteers without people with disabilities. We'd meet the people. We've had 100 people in a parking lot from a big company just coming out, hanging out with us. And then it grew from there. we developed something called the Give Back Crew, where we do blessing projects. Again, we go to the soup kitchen and we make sandwiches for people, and we do a lot of things that churches would do. I got a few pictures to share with you here. This is one of our day programs, but this is the staff and individual that were packing blessing baskets, goodie bags to go to give to nursing homes or to go just to a local business. It's kind of like little acts of kindness, and people get a chance to share with other people and meet with other people. Then we'll meet some of these folks, and then every group home gets free baseball tickets to the Reds. So instead of just having the whole group home go, we invite some of these people from the community that we met in some of these things to go with us. Here's some blessing projects that we just go to local businesses. I think this is a McDonald's. We went and blessed the manager of McDonald's. This is the one picture, I think is at Walmart, that we gave out Easter baskets. And again, oftentimes nothing really happens, but sometimes it does. And we just bless us. We got involved in Habitat for Humanity, where we go and we actually go on site and help people build homes and we build connections, and then we get involved in the church, and the church invites us to things, and we do certain things. And then I'm getting excited now because I'm getting pumped up, and hopefully you're still awake. But then I thought we got to measure this stuff, we got to hold ourselves accountable to it. And so one of our day programs we have here, we did 72 what we call give back projects. So there were 72 big opportunities in a year. It's almost twice a week, to meet other people with these blessing things that we do. And the average number of times people went into the community or participated in fun activities was 13 times a month. We started new volunteer sites. Then I got really wanted to hold our staff accountable, that we would go and ask people, like ask your son, what's your favorite activity in the world? What's your 4 most favorite things? Then we started to make it happen. And I wanted to compare to see if we're getting better at it. And I just randomly picked some people. This person here, person number 1, in 2021 did 87 of their favorite activities, whether it's going out to eat, going to see a movie, going to work out, whatever it is. 2022, they did 240 times. I don't know if you know about group home life, but getting people out there to enjoy their life sometimes is a challenge. We tracked the number of hours. This person didn't like going out as much, but didn't have many activities or hobbies, but they did 30 last year, then 61 the year before. Some was due with COVID, but we want to start holding ourselves accountable and ask the questions, why aren't we helping people really live a life that is that enjoyable? And we find that spontaneity is almost impossible. So we try to figure out, how can we be spontaneous, that if somebody in the group home or something says, I want to go do this right now, we figure out how do we do it right now. And that's a challenge. And sometimes we fail more than we succeed. I'm going to stop now. Okay. And any thoughts or comments? I just wanted to kind of get a discussion or dialogue going. I know we're almost out of time. I see my buddy Dave Glock on there. Dave was a big person that took an interest. You don't know Dave, but Dave started something years ago called Caring Craftsmen, free home repairs for folks with disabilities. And Dave Glock's been some of these things. Hey, Dave, good to see you. I think I'm boring this crowd a little bit here. So any thoughts or comments anybody has about anything?
I think these are all great points that you made. So for the parent, there's some staff here that, for getting things rolling, what would you suggest to the parent? I know, especially for the child that's hard to get out. How do you what's a good beginning point, or what to go out tomorrow or this weekend?
Yeah, when we first do this, we would do a brainstorming and what we call, where are the welcoming spots in your neighborhood or community? Is it a church? Is it a mom and pop restaurant? Is it the local YMCA? And make a list of 15 or 20 items, and then go there. If you work with a provider, if your child's old enough to have a group home, talk to the provider about this, have a vision meeting. If you need someone to go into the school system to talk to the teachers, do that. But we say start small. So yeah, I don't want to give any trite answers, but that's what I would say. Vision where would be a welcoming place based on somebody's interest, and then do it.
I think if I'm remembering correctly, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking that you had some pizza parties. I think we got together like with a group, like a Girl Scout group or a Boy Scout group one time.
Yes.
I can't remember the exact location, but we had like a pizza get together, and you invited, our son was part of it, but there were several kids with the county board of developmental disabilities, and we all kind of got together with scouts.
Yep. And people, if you know a local scout trooper, you call somebody up, somebody who knows somebody. And I said, hey, let's just get together. I can remember that. We went to Donato's Pizza or somewhere in Liberty Township, and there was maybe 5 people, young people with disabilities, and 5 Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, and we just hung out. But you need someone to facilitate the conversation. You need someone that is not inhibited. And God gave me that gift that I could talk to anybody and start bringing those folks together. But you got to get people together. It's almost an excuse to get people together. And nobody says no. You go to the local Kiwanis Club. I've spoken to every Kiwanis Club, the Eagles group, and to do it. Yeah, that's what I would suggest.
Does anybody have any questions? Because we're pretty much running out of time here. But does anybody, before we let Scott go, do you have any questions for him in the sense of how to get involved with the community with your child, or for staff? If you have any questions out there, because I know we have several staff on as well. Feel free to jump in. You can
Nobody wants to
unmute.
meet for coffee to talk more about it, because there's no easy answers. There's no. I'd love to meet a parent or anybody for coffee at Panera or something to chat and brainstorm with you.
I think Scott, would it be okay if for an email or something that they could reach out to you with some of them, depending on where their location
can
is?
You share my email? Yeah,
if you could, that would be great.
It's Osterfeld@graceworks.org.
I'll try to type it here too.
And if anybody email me any of the stuff, even the whole, concepts of these stuff, I wrote a book that I can give you for free if you want it.
You said graceworks.org?
Yes.
Okay. If I didn't type it right, please correct me.
Yeah, let me see.
I think I got.
Yes, that's it.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
There is a question about, are there Graceworks type programs in my county? Like, where's Graceworks? Is that only?
Graceworks we have homes in 4 different counties: Hamilton, Butler, Greene, and Montgomery. And we have a day program in Hamilton and one in Montgomery County.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that it all sounds good.
Yeah.
For those, if there's no more questions, I put his email out there. So if you have a question as we finish up here, you can email him with that, or have any concerns or questions regarding what he talked about in the sense of how to get your child involved. But I want to thank Scott for speaking today. We did share a link, and if you didn't find it, we will share it again, but we did share the link for your presentation. We put it in a Google Salt Drive, but we will be uploading it to our live binder. And then I also will have the video recording of this in our YouTube. But I want to thank you again, Scott, for joining us today. And thank you all for attending. I'm going to end the recording now. If you can wait a minute in case somebody has anything they want to ask after the recording. 1 second.
Thanks for listening to me ramble.